hit that subscribe button and also push that bell for notifications for when I drop my new videos, okay? You read that title right. Today's topic is definitely one that I wish that I did not have to talk about during this journey of writing this novel, but it is true. Check it out.
I'm checking my phone. It's about that time for me to go home. I don't wanna be rude, but I gotta leave you alone.
I'm checking my phone. It's about that time for me to go home. I don't wanna
So some of you may know that recently I started writing a novel. This is my first novel, even though I have years of experience with writing. This is my very first time attempting to write a novel, okay? And it was going great. Like, things were flowing well. Writing was going pretty good. You know, writing sessions, I would sit down and crank out 500 words here, 300 words there. There were even times where I cranked out over 1,000 words during some sessions, okay? So for the most part, I would say things were going pretty good. They were pretty solid. But recently, as in like 4 days ago, I definitely hit a snag, and I realized after reading what I have written so far, it's not flowing as cohesive as I wanted to, okay? Yes, the scenes are coming together, but I feel like they could come together a lot better than what they are. And I think part of the reason of why this is happening is because I didn't do much planning in the beginning for this novel.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
Okay, for screenplays, I could literally just sit down one night and crank out an entire plot, characters, develop characters, settings, everything, and know exactly where my story was going to go and how I was going to get there. A novel is a little different. It's not really a race, it's a marathon, right? So you got, I want to say, a little bit more time to hash out things. It's not so quick, you know? And that's something I'm still trying to train myself to do, or to realize, is that I have a little bit more time to explain and hash out things, okay? And I want these characters in this book to be as developed as possible, because I want them to be relatable, okay? Because who wants to read about a bunch of non-relatable characters? That's trash. You know, something that a reader cannot grasp onto or relate to is not a book that they're necessarily going to be interested in, okay? Trust me, my entire family loves to read. Everybody but me. I love to write. I know, it's weird. But I want to say that everybody in my family tend to gravitate towards those books that have memorable and relatable characters, okay? I've seen them sit there, or my son especially, sit there in like a day or in a couple hours and go through an entire book because he's grabbed so much by certain characters that are placed in these books, okay? And I also seen him start a book, get into a couple chapters, and put the book back down because there's just so many characters introduced. There's nobody that he can relate to, and it's just a melting pot of a hot mess, okay? So I don't want to be that book that people DNF, okay?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I want to be the book that, I want to have the book that people read through entirely, okay? And I believe that in order to have that type of book, you have to have characters that people can grab onto. So reading what I had, I was about 12,000 words in when I decided to start completely over. Yes, I did say start completely over after making it about 12,000 words into this book, okay? Because I realized the chapters weren't really flowing how I wanted them to flow. It was just like one chapter is one story, this chapter is another story, and that chapter is another story. Not these chapters are going to come together and make one great story. They were all like their mini stories, and I didn't like the feel of that. So what I did was I sat down and I actually did like a very basic outline for chapters, and I came up with chapter names, and this helped me a lot. Okay, some of those chapter names, just to give you an idea, one is Happy Father's Day. Chapter 2 is Picture Perfect. Chapter 3 is New to This. Chapter 4 is Hello, My Name is Beasley. Chapter 5 is His Last Breath. Chapter 6 is Who's Coming to My Funeral. Chapter 7 is Smacked. So just going through the chapters and me reading off those chapters, you can see what direction this story is going in. Okay, the titles of the chapters begin to tell a story by themselves, and underneath each one of those chapter titles, I did certain bullet points. Just to give you an example, so for chapter 1, I said Happy Father's Day. I don't want to tell you guys the story, but I'll give you, okay, so Shauna's son wins a basketball championship. Shauna and Mike are standing in the background, which becomes very important information later on in the story, and you'll figure out why. Somebody gets kidnapped, and there is a shocking reaction. That's all I'm going to tell you, okay? So those are certain bullet points that I put underneath chapter 1. So this gives me direction and things that I know I have to cover while I'm writing this chapter. When I tell you that this helped me so much, it definitely helped me so much, because instead of trying to sit there and think about what all I need to include in the chapter while I'm writing the chapter, I have the outline right in front of me. So I already know what strong points I need to hit while I'm writing that chapter. And this helped a lot. So after starting over and sitting down and going and attacking chapter 1, I was able to write over 1,000 words in like one session, because I had a clear direction. I knew exactly what points I had to hit within the chapter, and I knew exactly what direction my story was going to go into and where it needed to go in order to flow into the second chapter the way that I needed to do. So, hey, this might not work for everybody, and I understand that. I'm just giving you some tips that are currently working for me. Okay, so I'm not saying sit down and write a 3-page outline. Literally, you guys can see this is just in my notes in my phone. All I did was do like a star, chapter title, and then the bullet points underneath, so that while I am writing, if I forget what points I need to hit while I'm writing the chapters, all I have to do is go back to my phone and look into what bullet points I wrote. All right, this has been very, very helpful. Yes, it is a bummer, and yes, I was kind of like, I don't want to say heartbroken, but very upset that I had to start all over from scratch, because I was 12,000 words in, and 12,000 words, that's a pretty hefty number when you are especially writing a project like a novel. Okay, it just gives you a lot of motivation to know that you are that far within the story. All right, but don't let that stop you from reworking the story if the story needs to be reworked. Okay, you don't want to put out trash. You want to put out something that flows, something that people can connect to, and you want to have characters present within your stories that are relatable. All right, that people can grab onto, that people can actually picture themselves standing by and going through whatever trials and tribulations these characters are going through with them. All right, so that's the type of stories that you want to write, and those are the type of stories that I am aiming to write now, especially with this current novel. So I was hoping to get on here and give you like a different type of update. Yes, I hit 20,000 words or this and that, but I think it's more important to give you reality. And reality is I hit a snag at 12,000 words. And yes, I decided to start this entire project over again. And now I'm back to a little over 1,000 words. And that's okay, because now I have a clear direction on where I'm going. All right. Hey, I hope you guys have found this video helpful. And I wish you all the luck in your journeys with writing your novel, if that's what you guys are currently doing. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, punch that bell for notifications so that you get notified when I release upcoming videos, because I'm going to keep you guys updated along this process. Okay, I'll let you guys know when I hit the 10,000 word mark, and I'm letting you know that I hit 12,000 and now I'm starting completely over, which I know sounds insane, but it is what it is. I want to keep you guys in on this journey so that we all can learn from this process. Okay, even though I've been a writer for so long, it doesn't mean that I am an expert at writing a novel, because this is my first time ever writing a novel. So the mistakes and things that I learned, I want to share that with you guys so that you guys are able to grow with me and become stronger writers as well. So like I said, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.
I'm checking my phone. It's about that time for me to go home. I don't wanna be rude, but